For a brief period in my life, I wanted to be an artist.
To be honest, for a very brief period in my life, I wanted to be an everything. I am far better at giving up on dreams than I am at fulfilling them. But everything one pursues leaves a mark, a wrinkle in the corner of one's eye. And while the artist inside me perhaps was never given oxygen, room to blossom, I realized that what I learned about light, shadow, and color has been a great joy as I stumble through the next phases of my life. I was interested in realism, so color theory and values mattered a lot in my attempt to capture reality. And that information was not wasted. Now, as I walk through the world, I notice how mountains slowly take on the color of the sky as they drift into the distance. I see how shadows are not grey, but have a clear warmth or coolness to them. And on overcast days, they disappear completely. I see how a girl's dress can look purple in candlelight and green in daylight. I see how as things get darker, they become more saturated with color. I enjoy reflections, gradients, and textures. And the reason why this matters is because it makes life a little more interesting. To care about the details of any old object when you're waiting for a train is to never be bored waiting for a train. And it means that the landscape you're in becomes as important as any other. A dirty alleyway has as much sensory information as a tropical island. You can basically stare at anything, and after you do that long enough, it becomes fascinating. There's this arc where for a minute, boring objects appear boring, and you go, okay, this is just a mug. But then, if you look at it long enough, you tip over the threshold of concentration and suddenly you are noticing tiny imperfections, reflections and details in the object. And whatever it is, it becomes completely worthy of your most energetic attention. Those details that you see, because only you bother to look at them, become a special little secret between you and the universe. I think about my other wrinkles and their significance in an examined life. The musicians listening will relate to this. Music too spills over into mindfulness. When you understand music, you hear it everywhere. My mother-in-law once couldn't stop laughing. She was in a total giggle fit. And it was very melodic. And after a while of listening to this, I realized, oh my God, she's laughing in a G-flat major 7 arpeggio. Sometimes I transcribe in my mind the intervals a bird sings, and I imagine people with all sorts of skill sets have this experience. My partner Izzy had to design some street signs for work once, and now she's always making observations about street signs. And now I care about signs, only because I've been exposed to the nuance of signage. There are more abstract wrinkles. Love, that's a wrinkle too. It makes you see things differently, have a different experience of the world. Neuroscientist Oliver Sacks, in a love letter to Gino Vince, a Hungarian theatre director he met gallivanting through Europe, wrote the following: "The day steeps everything in golden liquid. A sidewalk cafe in the evening with a wonderful amber light flooding through the doors and windows. Huge, mad stars in an indigo sky. For this, you have to be great, crazy, or wildly in love. I never saw that golden light before we met in Paris." End quote. Isn't that a wonderful concept? That the properties of light itself change when you are completely infatuated with someone. What else do we see differently through our wrinkled eyes? Again, it's a reminder that the experience of consciousness in any old world is so special if you just give it room to do its thing, and then make the extra effort to pay attention.